A submissive woman actually controls the man, and the internet has turned submission into something weak, when in reality, it's one of the most powerful dynamics in a relationship. See, submission isn't about a woman having no voice or no intelligence or no influence. It's about understanding how influence actually works. Smart women understand something that many men don't notice until it's too late. A man's direction is often shaped by the environment that's around him. The woman that he respects can calm him down when his emotions are high. She can encourage him when he's doubting himself. She can quietly guide his thinking without ever having to fight him for authority. That's real power. Because a man who feels respected will move mountains for the woman who gives him that feeling. He'll work harder, he'll protect more, he'll become more disciplined. But the influence didn't come from control or conflict. It came from how she positioned herself in the relationship. That's why some women can completely stabilize a man's entire life without ever raising her voice or trying to compete with him. And you'll see it in real life all the time. A man who is reckless suddenly becomes focused. A man who was lost suddenly finds direction. A man who used to move carelessly suddenly becomes more thoughtful about his decisions. Respect is the language most men understand best. When a man feels that from a woman, it doesn't make him weaker. It actually makes him want to be the type of man worthy of it. And that's why the most powerful women in a man's life are often not the loudest ones. They're the ones who understand how to influence a man without having to fight him for the role that he already believes that he has.
Someone once said that something destroys many relationships even more than cheating. It is the tone of voice people use with their partner. It is not always big fights, lies, or betrayal that cause problems. Sometimes it is the way someone speaks every day. Many women speak kindly, patiently, and warmly to their friends and other people. They can be funny, gentle, and understanding with everyone. But when they talk to the man they love, their tone becomes different. It can sound like he is a problem that needs to be fixed, like everything he does is slightly wrong, or like every conversation is a correction. After a while, the man may stop sharing his thoughts. He may become quiet and distant. It may seem like he does not care anymore, but that is not always true. Sometimes he pulls away because home no longer feels peaceful. Instead, it feels like he is always being judged or evaluated. A man needs to feel warmth from his partner every day, not only on good days or when he does everything perfectly. When a man feels love, kindness, and softness from the woman he loves, he will do a lot for her. But if he only feels criticism all the time, he may slowly withdraw. And by the time someone notices, he may have already emotionally left the relationship. Share, save, and subscribe this reel to support.
So in today's society, the word patriarchy, submission, submissive, it's been demonized. This guy, I'm going to show a video of him in a minute. He breaks it down perfectly. A submissive woman is actually a more powerful woman. It's just been demonized by modern toxic feminists. Even the word patriarchy. Patriarchy just generally means that society was more masculine dominated, or masculine was in charge, and the feminines were in charge of emotions and certain stuff. But like, buildings, walls, and society, the way it's run, masculine were in charge because our aura and energy is totally different. Our purpose, our wiring, our hormones, our mental state, just our logic is different. Yes, you're going to get exceptions to the norm, but women were put on earth to be good mothers, nurturing, caring, full of love, attending to the kids' emotional needs. So in modern society, we've kind of put that on a back step, and strangers are raising the kids, and you've seen the news how many nursery teachers are abusing kids. So the emotional bond, the stability, the women, are the number one when it comes to emotional stability in a kid, especially at the young ages. They breastfeed them, they hug them, they love them, they co-sleep. You're meant to co-sleep. Eastern traditions, we had all this right. We had a lot of stuff right, but it's all just flipping on its head. You know, women are focused on their careers, getting married at 45, 40s and stuff, and then they wonder why they're having problem having babies and stuff. So yeah, get your career as a backup in case you're in an abusive relationship. Do you know what I mean? That's standard. But if you're not, but I guess two people have to work these days because cost of living and stuff. So the system is just failing us, and the system is not letting us be sovereign, not letting us have nuclear families. But anyway, check this guy's word out of the word. Check his how he explains submissive, and how actually a submissive woman that shows respect actually will control her man or get him to do what he wants to do more than a toxic and argumentative and woman that causes conflict and destroys a man's peace. So toxic feminists are destroying women, huh? There's no Izzard, no Sean culture. They're proud of, like, a lot of women are saying we're doing a whole phase, don't slut shame us, don't do this. And toxic masculinity is destroying men as well. You can have as much women as you want. You can have cheat. You can cheat. It's not the same. If women cheat, it's different. Men are allowed to have babies with loads of different women. This and that. We're meant to spread our seed. No, I don't personally believe in all that. You know what I mean? I believe like you be loyal to your one woman and you raise a family and stuff. Do you know what I mean? You're not allowed to cheat. You're not allowed to just sleep around. It's not different. If a man's body count is high, it's bad as well for their aura, for their pair bonding, for their baggage and stuff. I know in today's society, they celebrate if a man has a high body count and if a woman has a high body count. I know women have started to celebrate that now, but usually it was looked down upon. But yeah, it's crazy the way the world is going. It's not going in the good way. People like me will get cancelled, you know what I mean? Just because I speak like, I'm from that conservative, traditional Eastern mindset, do you know what I mean? But we had a lot right. When the cases went wrong, like, 85% of the traditional Eastern marriages were probably fine. Because of the 15% was big, we're letting that 15% destroy the old methods. And I'm not saying let's go back to arranged marriage. I'm saying, get to know your partner, this and that. But the traditions that we've become too Western, too loose, too just moving mad, and it's gonna backfire. It already is. The Korean are half naked in front of their fathers and brothers. You just see on the internet what's going on. You know what I mean?